Trump already started 2 wars during his year in office here. He started a third one with the Pope, apparently.
Yeah, a pope that seems to be pretty chill of a guy on most issues. But, Donald Trump can start a war with anyone.
He posted on Truth Social, probably the greatest social media website to ever exist.
We were just on this thing earlier. There's so many ads. My gosh.
You have to click above an ad to open the tweet, and then every time you go back, because when you open it, it like opens a new section like this, and then when you go back, it opens another ad.
It's insane. And yeah, look at there's just so many there.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But he posted this huge, long tweet. What do you call these? Truths?
Yeah, it's not a tweet, it's a truth.
It's because 8,000 people retruth this thing.
Is that like some crazy branding where if you just say truth over and over again, people might think it's real, it's the truth?
That's how Trump does it, but it's a pretty crazy one here. Pope Leo is weak on crime and terrible on foreign policy.
As if he's like a world leader running. I mean, he is a leader of the church, but...
He talks about fear of the Trump administration, but doesn't mention the fear that the Catholic Church and all other Christian organizations had during COVID when they were arresting priests, ministers, and everybody else for holding church services. Why is he bringing up COVID? What does that have to do with the Pope?
I don't know. Yeah, and the Pope wasn't the Pope during COVID.
Okay, continuing. Even when going outside and being 10 and even 20 feet apart. Okay, so I like that he always adds this extra stuff too. Mm-hmm. Like he can't just say this part. Yeah. He has to add, they were even 10 and 20 feet apart. No evidence of that, of course.
I like his brother Louis much better. I think those two, Pope Leo and his brother, they're like close still, but they disagree on a lot of things. So of course that's why he would like that one better.
Because Louis is all MAGA.
There you go. He says it right there.
He gets it, and Leo doesn't. I don't want a pope who thinks it's okay for Iran to have nuclear weapons. Okay. Did he ever say that was okay?
I don't know if he went, I think Iran needs a nuclear weapon.
He probably said, hey, we shouldn't be bombing this country that in no way, shape, or form was a threat to the United States, despite what Trump says.
Because in Trump's eyes, they bombed them to stop them from having nuclear weapons. So that means the Pope wants them to have a nuclear weapon.
But also, Trump can take the oil. He wants the oil. Unfortunately, the American people don't want him to be there. Okay, anyways, continuing. I don't want a Pope who thinks it's terrible that America attacked Venezuela. Okay, I mean, a Christian nation attacking another Christian nation seems like something the Pope wouldn't want.
Also, this is the No New Wars guy, the most peaceful president, ended conflicts, and he's talking about how he's upset that someone's disagreeing with war.
What's going on here? A country that was sending massive amounts of drugs into the United States. Pretty sure Venezuela isn't really the drug country in South America. I'm sure they do have narco stuff, but it's not even close to like Colombia.
Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself there, reading the next part in my head.
And I don't want a pope who criticizes the president of the United States because I'm doing exactly what I was elected in a landslide to do, setting record low numbers in crime and creating the greatest stock market in history. I do recall him saying no new wars. And I swear I recall a lot of people back in the day of the election saying, I'm voting for Trump because no new wars.
Yeah, and also the landslide thing, I wouldn't call that a landslide.
Yeah. Greatest stock market in history. Maybe for the rich, all that type of stuff. Leo should be thankful because, as everyone knows, he was a shocking surprise. He wasn't on any list to be Pope and was only put there by the church because he was an American. And they thought that would be the best way to deal with President Donald Trump.
Oh, that's how self-absorbed he is. He thinks the Pope was elected because of him.
That's true. They chose the Pope because of me. That's the president. If I wasn't in the White House, Leo wouldn't be in the Vatican. Unfortunately, Leo's weak on crime, weak on nuclear weapons does not sit well with me, nor does the fact that he meets with Obama sympathizers like David Axelrod, a loser from the left who is one of those who wanted churchgoers and clerics to be arrested.
Obama sympathizers makes it seem like it's like a really bad thing.
So is he gonna? He just said the word, yeah. Obama sympathizers. Is he gonna start saying Obama is a terrorist?
I don't know, because that's literally like the phrasing you would use for different organizations like that.
They always say like Hamas sympathizers and
Yeah.
like stuff like that. This is
He did
absolutely
also
insane.
call someone a loser from the left there, so I don't think he cares.
And the Pope is weak on crime and weak on nuclear weapons.
When I think about like what type of Pope I want, I really want them to not be weak on nuclear weapons.
The Pope should be up there talking about nuclear weapons all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Where are we? Leo should get his act together as Pope. Use common sense. Why is common sense capitalized, first of all? Stop catering to the radical left, also capitalized. And focus on being a great Pope, also capitalized. Why is he capitalizing all these words?
I don't know. And then he says not a politician, but then is talking about his foreign policy
Yeah.
and how he deals with drug dealers and stuff like that.
His whole post is him saying, I want you to be a politician that agrees with me. And then he says, not a politician.
Yeah.
It's hurting him very badly. And more importantly, it's hurting the Catholic Church. President Donald J. Trump.
You got to make sure you got all caps for that. That's wild. And of course, you would think this is the most wild thing he posted out of this whole drama, but we have that to get to later in this.
Is suddenly after this Iran situation's done, is he going to be like, the Vatican, it needs to be part of the U.S. The U.S. is God's country. We should own it.
Is the Vatican part of NATO?
I would assume not. I would
Yeah.
assume it's just under the protection of Italy, which would
Yeah.
become under the protection of the EU and then under the protection of NATO.
So it's kind of like Greenland then at that point.
That's
It's up
true.
for grabs!
That's true. We need it for security and defense.
These Italians!
The terrorists are coming for it. Okay, let's go over to some of this crazy things that, I mean, this one just took off. Somehow the media is covering this more than the war, and they're talking about this more than they've ever talked about Gaza and stuff like that. But let's get into it and see what's going on here.
US President Donald Trump has taken aim at Pope Leo for his criticism of US actions in Iran.
Just
the
saw
Pope
this.
is responding, saying he does not fear the Trump administration.
Tensions are high between President Trump and Pope Leo.
I don't think that the message of the gospel is meant to be abused in the way that some people are doing.
The first pope from the United States
The guy in the Epstein files, 38,000 times.
has been an outspoken critic of the policies of his home country, speaking out on issues like immigration, Venezuela, and most recently, the war with Iran.
There's nothing to apologize for. He's wrong. And the other thing is he didn't like what we're doing with respect to Iran, but Iran is wants to be a nuclear nation so they can exterminate the world. Not going to happen.
The Pope has called for
Yeah.
peace over military.
I bet you the old Benjamin told him that sentence word for word as like, you gotta attack the man. And he's like, and that's the whole reason the war started.
I mean, it seems like he literally seems like he might believe that Iran wants to destroy the world. Obviously, the United States, I mean, for decades has been very, very hawkish towards Iran. And Iran getting a nuclear weapon seems only in their interest of self-defense.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like to me. I don't think they want to start launching nukes at the U.S. I think they want to be able to make the U.S. back off, because the U.S. isn't going to start bombing and assassinating their leaders and generals if they have a nuclear weapon.
The closest other nuclear power has bombed countries randomly multiple times in the last few years. So,
And Israel has been saying that they want basically to eradicate Iran. They
Yeah.
don't want it to exist. It's a threat to them.
Exterminate the world. Not going to happen.
The Pope has called for peace over military action in Iran and heavily criticized President Trump for his threat to destroy Iranian civilization, calling it
Not to mention that insane truth, not a tweet, a truth.
unacceptable.
I think someone has to stand up and say, there's a better way to do this.
In a pair of posts, the president shared an AI
wow.
Who are these people? Are these dead soldiers?
Yeah, because there's like military
Oh,
stuff.
man.
Those are the ones. Some people may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
I mean, it's literally like some like World War II propaganda thing, like with this part over here. But then Trump is Jesus healing the sick in the middle of the picture.
Yeah, this like takes things to. I mean, is this not just proof that MAGA's a cult? That's what cult leaders say is, I am Jesus. I am the leader. You will follow and do what I say.
I mean, how many people do you think retruthed this picture?
Oh my gosh, people. And they can say it's a joke all they want, but people are going to believe that. Like, if you post this to the MAGA base, they're going to be like, oh,
I mean,
it's him.
It's kind of like Tucker Carlson. I can't imagine what Tucker Carlson said about this. He was already going off about Trump.
He's the whole Christian. He's very Christian.
I mean, he was saying Trump was the Antichrist from the things he was saying before, and then he posted this picture because he's a false prophet. He's like the false return of Jesus. And he literally posted a picture of himself as Jesus.
And he's healing someone, by the way. with a dang F-15 fighter jet going by in the background.
And 2 eagles.
This is literally like a satire thing.
Can you imagine the heyday Trump would have if Iran posted this and it was like a Muslim version?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, this is absurd.
The thing I want to know is this picture right here. Is Trump just sitting there on his computer in the Oval Office making these himself? Or is there some bootlicker that just runs into the office and they're like, Trump, look what I made! Look it's cool!
You like this? And he's like, yes, I love it.
Get it on Truth Social.
Send it to me right now. Fax it over to me. He probably does faxes and he scans it onto his phone.
Photo of himself depicted as a Jesus-like figure. Shortly after, he called the Pope weak on crime and suggested Leo would not have been elected if he was not in the White House.
It's supposed to be me as a doctor making people better, and I do make people better. I make people a lot better.
Pope Leo stressed he was not
Me as a
directly
doctor.
Even if it's, I mean, obviously it's not a doctor, but even if it is a doctor, he's still discrediting so many doctors with that post. He's just, everyone else, they got to work hard to heal some people, and him, hand on the forehead.
I bet there was a time where he said he knows more than COVID. He essentially said he knows more than the doctors.
Yeah.
attacking Trump and will continue to share the message of the gospel.
I do not look at my role as being politician. I don't want to get into a debate with him.
Some prominent Christian conservatives
Just because he's not tough on crime and he's not tough on nuclear weapons.
Yeah, I guess this is the wild things that happen in the Donald Trump presidency right there. Drama with the Pope. Political drama.
Does he want the Pope to start another crusade? I mean, like, what is his end goal here?
I don't know. They need to start working together so that they can start manipulating more people into doing things.
I mean, it's literally like him getting up there and being like, Japan isn't helping us. NATO isn't helping us. He wants there to be another crusade. The Pope isn't helping us. Are you kidding me?
He's not getting support from the American people, so he needs anyone and everyone to be able to support him.
I mean, this is absolute crazy stuff. I mean, here's more of it. Just the AI Jesus, the Pope responding. It's just absolute lunacy from the White House. What do we expect? I mean, every week we should start a series where we just go on Truth Social and just read Trump's insane tweets. We were on there a little bit ago and it was insane. I've never looked at it before.
Yeah, we just scrolled to find the one that was about this, and that wasn't even that long ago. It was within the last day, and
Yeah.
it was 14 hours, 15 hours ago, something like that.
He's posted this many. Oh, sorry. Let me get through these ads quick.
Oh, there's 3 more ads there. Oh, 4, 5 ads, 6 ads.
Who made? Does Trump have stake in this?
He probably does, or his business that he's not affiliated with anymore. 34 ships went through the Strait of Hormuz yesterday, by the way. I thought they blockaded that.
What's going on? I mean, talking about the blockade too. They apparently some of them just slipped through. But, anyways, Trump's a lunatic. He's possibly the Antichrist, if you believe in that type of situation.
I mean, if you do, I don't see why you wouldn't believe that he is.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.